Hey, what's up, people? So, a new chapter now. Germination. 8 hours later.
Dr. Lau, you have a visitor.
Oh!
Good evening, Dr. Lau.
Hello? And you are... Surely you recognize him.
No, I don't. Who are you?
I'm afraid you'll have to enlighten me. This is Dr. Vargas, the Central Operations Coordinator.
Now, Galatea, there's no need to be quite like that. The fact that I am not widely recognized perhaps indicates how successful we are.
Yes, you're right, Father. Vargas? Dr. Eduardo Vargas?
Quite so, Dr. Lau.
What brings you from the Fulcrum Tower, sir?
A most grave matter, I'm afraid. One I believe you specifically to be most suited to handle.
Shall I, Father?
Please do, Galatea.
Central, I believe the audio EM capture system in this room to be faulty. Please run a deep diagnostic on the system.
Certainly, Miss Vargas. Beginning scan.
We have perhaps 2 minutes until the diagnostic cycle is complete.
Dr. Lau, have you heard of a gentleman by the name of Baxter?
Yes. That is the guy who murdered Charlie's wife.
Dr. Adam Baxter, convicted murderer, and a brilliant engineer in his time. Yes, I've heard of him. My partner had a history with him. His parole hearing and eventual release really got to Dr. Regis.
Quite so, poor Viksha. I don't think Charlie ever got over it. And unfortunately, it appears that he's taking things into his own hands.
Oh boy, here comes trouble.
You have a connection to Regis as well?
Quite so. He worked for me in a research team, as did Baxter in the same project.
And Viksha Regis?
Precisely. We lost half of the team in one fell swoop that day.
Dr. Lau, when did you last see Dr. Regis? Last night, before Central went into siege mode. Why? What's happened?
This morning, Dr. Baxter was found dead in his workplace.
Whoa!
Oh no. Oh, Charlie, no.
I share your concern, Dr. Lau.
Central believes Dr. Regis to be the most likely suspect. He would have known that Central would be unable to provide oversight during the siege.
And he had no shortage of motive, as I'm sure you'd agree.
Baxter found that, huh? So the informant who has been contacting Charlie is fake. It is someone else pretending to be Baxter.
You're the controller of Central Operations. Why would you need to cut the camera feed with a trick like that? I apologize, but for the sake of city security... Yeah, can't tell me. Classified, ultra, violet A, etc.
I'm glad you understand.
I might understand, but I'm not happy about it. Noted, Dr. Lau. It just doesn't sound like him, though. He had other outlets, like his garden.
I don't fully agree with Central's assessment either. That is why I'm activating you on this case.
You want me to investigate Baxter's murder with my partner as the prime suspect? Isn't that a pretty serious conflict of interest?
It is within my prerogative to select agents I feel appropriate for casework, if necessary. Using it to aid an old friend, a good man, like Charlie Regis, I think that's worthwhile.
Remember that your primary responsibilities are to the law and to this city. I think I've heard enough.
That's good to hear. I'll have Galatea email the case data to you. If I can be of any further help, don't hesitate to drop by my office.
At the top of the Fulcrum Tower. Make an appointment beforehand.
Diagnostic cycle of monitoring systems complete. No wetware or firmware anomalies detected.
About time.
However, please ask Dr. Regis to stop obstructing the lens assembly.
Oh boy.
Wish you luck with your work, Dr. Lau. For Regis's sake.
What's up with that pause? I think he has something more to say. Okay, let's look at our terminal here. It looks different. Okay, check email. Galatea Vargas, case file, Dr. Lau, as authorized by City System Administrator Dr. Eduardo Vargas, please find access to the investigator's case files enclosed. If you wish to discuss the case in person with the Administrator, please make an appointment beforehand. So we have an attachment. I hope it is safe. Baxter, HM2.
Ow!
Oh.
Hey, what was that?
Whoa! A foreign substance! Is it a virus? So, from Charles, Max Lau, it's only one name. There's no message here. Or is that the message? That could be a code to something. Right from Central, Mindjacking. Dr. Lau. Thank you for the summary of the so-called mindjacking investigations. It is evident that some of the Dr. Regis' talent in investigation has found its way into your work. So, is that good or bad? But please be aware that you need not also emulate his less helpful behavioral patterns. From Edward Lau. Is that the father? Please come home. Max, it doesn't matter what Mom said. I don't really understand why you did it either, but I'm not going to judge you. I miss you and they won't admit it, but Mom and Dad too. Please come home, Max. That city, that life, it will change you. Eddie. Oh, so this is probably from a loving brother. Alright. What about the attachment? Okay, not this one. This is the old case file. So, category homicide, breaking and entering, abuse of public office. That's my name. Outline: on July 11, 2087, Dr. Adam Baxter was found dead by co-workers at the Bakerman Tatsumoto Telepresence Laboratory in the Northeast Network. Cell has been contacted and case officer Lau activated for investigation. Victims today: Baxter, Dr. Adam, former organic computing researcher for City of Newton, recently paroled from rehabilitation centers. Suspects: Dr. C. Regis, spouse of Viksha Regis, victim of murder by Dr. Baxter, was detected entering laboratories on July 10, 2087, and leaving 128 minutes later. Whoa, so there's actually data evidence, or visual evidence of him entering the compound. He spent 2 hours inside. Could be an imposter though. Action: suspect Charles Regis has been unreachable and has historically demonstrated a high anti-civil behavior index. With such a strong motive, has his apprehension for questioning is a priority. Lau assigned to investigate crime scene, Vickerman Pharmaceuticals. And yeah, can I call him up? Come on, pick up the phone.
No answer.
I'm trying to help here, Charles. Okay, what about the news? Grey Ghoul incident injures 4. Cell firefighters have this afternoon been called to Hartgill Preparatory School, where the out-of-control growth of a wetware culture has resulted in what is euphemistically termed Grey Ghoul. Out-of-control blue ghoul is named Grey Ghoul. I wonder if there's a change of color. Principal Andrew Tamby issued a statement on behalf of the school expressing belief that Cell has been able to control the outbreak before more damage can be done, and reiterated their policy against bringing wetware into the school. So is it illegal? Wetware, so-called due to its gelatinous appearance, is the generalized term for a number of nanomechanical products derived from organic structures. Safeguards are in place in commercial wetware to ensure that replication of the material can only occur within secure factory conditions. Hobbyist engineers have on many occasions taken it as a challenge to breach new wetware products and reactivated the material's ability to create more of itself. So it's like hackers. It's never enough for these guys. Such uncontrolled growth becomes dangerous when wetware no longer responds to chemical signals to cease its reproduction. It is believed that a tampering with a recreational product was the catalyst for today's incident. While the school has been closed for repairs and decontamination, Cell has reported that 4 students have received only minor injuries. So are they the ones responsible then? And are being treated for burns and contamination. City Coordinator L Central has stated that the mask has been deactivated and poses no further threat to lives or property within Newton. Alright, now I guess we're going to the crime scene. to the pharmaceuticals. So straight back to the city map. Yep, crime scene with weird dooms, glowing dooms. Whoa. Vickerman Pharmaceutical, here we are. Hello.
Wow, that's a lot of green. Excuse me.
Great, they finally sent someone. You here to get the body out?
Maybe. I'm Max Lau, cell case specialist.
No kidding. I'm the lab director, Dr. Zvidzai Chigwa. Make it quick, I'm busy.
Well, nice to meet you, and what is your job here?
What's your role here?
I'm the supervisor for the telepresence factoring labs. Most of it's automatic. I just make sure it's all running like it should.
Sounds like a big responsibility.
It's a lousy job most of the time. TP is where management sticks people they don't want in public-facing roles.
You're not happy with it?
For the last few years, my career has been one disaster after another. I'm just glad it's plateaued into some kind of stability.
So, a bit of a disgruntled employee. What happened?
Can you tell me what happened?
Baxter got killed.
In any more detail?
When we started this afternoon, a whole lot of samples had been tampered with. We tried to call Baxter to find out what the hell was going on in the specimen bank.
And he didn't answer.
He didn't. Turned out the door to the specimen bank was locked too.
You haven't seen the body?
No, not in person, if that's what you mean. We got the camera feed online, but it was obvious that Baxter wasn't going to be coming out.
When did you last see him?
Guess it could have been Wednesday?
So he could have been killed any time in the past 3 days?
I guess, but it wouldn't fit with everything else.
No, the important thing is there is a camera feed inside the lab.
What's the purpose of this lab? Plant studies?
Yes and no. It's a TP lab, telepresence. There's a lot of research that's not exactly legal in some countries.
But in Newton, pretty much anything goes.
Exactly. If someone in the EU needs research done on something hazardous, infectious, or endangered, they send the orders here and we carry out the testing.
What sort of research?
Mostly we make new angiosperms from scratch. That's flowering plants to you.
Gee, thanks. Why would people want new flowers?
Sometimes it's a drug delivery method. The earliest commercial examples were fruit that grew packed with insulin. A lot of new wetware begins its life as engineered fruit too.
Must be awkward if they cross-pollinate in the wild.
And a legal headache. Part of our job is making sure the copy protection works.
Copy protection in plants? Ouch.
Sounds complicated. Okay, so who else works here?
Aside from yourself, who else works in this laboratory?
There's my intern, Martin Meester, operates the factoring line. If you meet him, it's easy to see why they put him in here. And until recently, there was Dr. Baxter.
Huh. So Neester, your intern.
Tell me about Mr. Neester.
He came over from Eurofed on a study program. He's young. I guess we're all like that in our youth.
Good colleague?
He's all right. He got on board with that annoying Maladist trend. He knows how to follow instructions, so I let him get on with it.
His visa still active?
Dr. Lau, we do not employ undocumented illegals in this lab.
Just have to check. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, from all angles, come on. About Baxter.
Tell me about Dr. Baxter.
Oh, he was bad enough to work with in the 60s. As part of his parole, they stuck a governor in his head. Since then, it's like talking to a badly written synthetic.
You don't care for him a great deal.
That man killed Vicky. Frankly, he deserved what he got.
But you still work with him.
He worked for me. It was another part of his parole. Vickerman's management persuaded centralized government that his skills were going to waste in prison. The company wanted him supervised by someone who knew him. Hence, they dragged my sorry ass in.
What did you have him doing?
He organized the specimen bank. It's the kind of thing we could just leave him at for hours on end. Days, sometimes. Really, it could have just been done by the facility's AI, but I had to give him something.
Otherwise, you'd have to talk to him?
Exactly.
Oh, so he was like a robot then. He worked like a robot.